What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below, as usual. This video is entitled, We're Not Teaching Kids Financial Literacy. I've been thinking about it, where my generation, maybe my parents' generation, not too sure. Millennials. But when I think about my family, and think about other people's families, the one thing that keeps people in poverty is parents not teaching financial literacy. And this hurts generations of people in general, because part of our issue with other communities that they're financially in better situations than us, it has to do with racism, and I think some of it has to do with our financial illiteracy. And what I mean by that is we're not teaching our children the value of money or budgeting or saving. We can't get to investing in things like that, because I had to think about it. Like, how often have I seen parents give their children a budget? Like, since you want these particular clothes, you want these shoes, how often have we let them go into a store with $100 and they wanted to shop and say, look, these are your options. If I was you, I would buy this, and this with this $100. Now, if you want to buy this, I'm just going to tell you right now, that's what you're going to have to wear over and over again. Just as a quick lesson, if take them to the grocery store, this is your money right here to spend. I'm going to tell you right now, you buy the food you want to eat. Now, if you buy this, you can buy this, and this with the money, and these are things you like. Or you can buy that cake. And after you eat that cake, don't ask me for my stuff. We have to we don't teach our kids the financial literacy of long-term thinking and the consequences of impulsive spending. I think about that because one of the issues is about buying your kids toys and clothes instead of books, or buying your kids games on the iPads instead of games that are useful, right? And we're teaching, they're coming, I want this, I want that, without knowing the cost. These, kids don't have an idea that your time is money. And then they become adults without the idea that time is money. And then we as parents are upset that our kids are behind the 8 ball because they're not financially literate, because we really haven't taught them to be. Like, I was messing with my son this summer, and what I told him was, we had to do certain things. Got up in the morning, do a workout, because he wanted to play sports. So we got up early, we worked out, took a shower, took him to summer camp, and came from summer camp. He worked on his school lesson for the summer, because I give him a workbook during the summertime, and then he could do whatever he wants. And I was like, now when you do, this is your job. This is what's expected of you, And at the end of every 2 weeks, like a job, I'm going to pay you if you do your job, and you do your job, and you do it properly, right? And I said, but if you stop, if you slack off, I'm not paying you. I'm going to treat you just like this is work, plus chores or whatever. So he got about 4 or 6 weeks in, and he stopped. And he knew at that moment. I said, that's it, bro. That's it. And my son knew not to ask me for anything. And then I told him, I said, listen, here's the thing. You know how you work just enough to get the things you wanted? You're going to need more things, right? And he was like, I said, yeah. You know, if everything in the house works and I work, that means you work too. But you won't reap the benefits of working because you just maxed out because you had a plan that just didn't really go through that well. So, he learned that he paid for that later. You get what I'm saying? So he learned, work, if you stop working, you stop receiving. You stop earning. And that's a lesson that we don't teach that much. We don't teach financial literacy to our kids about credit, about how to build their credit. Some of us as parents sabotage our children financially before they become adults, and we don't want to admit that. And that's a problem. Some of us have our kids working in our homes. They work jobs and they live with us, and they're making $400 a week, and we taking $400 every 2 weeks, and we taking $200 because we want them to help us pay bills, instead of putting them in a position that they can have money to buy their own car and insurance, or so they don't have to make car payments when they leave your house, or instead of having them save enough money to pay for an apartment, pay for months up front. We don't do that. And then when we have kids and they do that, we allow these kids to go shopping. And then they get accustomed to a lifestyle of just shopping when they get paid and not paying any bills because they have no responsibility, because there you go. They weren't taught the value of a dollar and what it meant, because if you having a kid save up for getting out of the house, you tell them what it is. You give them a date. If you do this, this is how it adds up. You see that? And then you can get this apartment that and you can be out on your own, and you can be grown. Now, if you do this, if you don't do this and you want to keep shopping, by this date, you're still getting out. Is what it is, right? But we're not teaching financial literacy because we're not teaching that how you spend your money affects your lifestyle. And a lot of us are impulsive spenders and emotional spenders as is. We're not, our kids want to eat pizza and they want to go out to eat and go to movies, but we don't tell them how much that costs. They don't look at the receipts. They don't look at the price on the menu. We're not telling them, okay, if we're going to go to the movies, fine. We don't tell them the difference between they don't know the difference between a matinee price and a late night movie price. They don't know the difference. We're not telling them to use their own money to pay for things so they can look at it and go, oh. Because I've done this with my son plenty of times where I started like, okay, you want this, you want this, you want that? Okay, go to your quote unquote piggy bank. Go use the money in your pocket. Oh yeah, and then he'd be like, I want it. How much that is? I don't want it that bad. Yeah, I bet you don't. It ain't worth it. It's not worth it when it's coming out of your pocket. We're not teaching what's guns and butter, baby. We're not teaching our kids financial literacy. We're not teaching them the cost of an education. We're just telling them to get an education. We're not teaching them. We're teaching them about a lifestyle without teaching them the cost of living a lifestyle that they want to live, because we're enabling our kids to be broke consumers, and because we just want them to get accustomed to a swag lifestyle, and then that's part of the reason why a lot of these kids don't necessarily have skills, because they figure if they get money, they could pay somebody else to do it, because you're outsourcing all your self-sufficiency. And you're teaching the next generation to outsource all their self-sufficiency, which is crippling to a person in a financial matter, because everybody's, the bulk of America isn't rich or middle class. So why would you teach them to value stuff? Depreciating stuff at that. So I gotta wonder, and some of us who are parents or who's gonna be grandparents, one of the reasons why your kids leaning on you so hard is because you didn't teach your kids financial literacy and they broke. And now they're using you as a babysitter, as a subsidizer. Because one of the things I've learned over the years is, you know, because you keep dishing out money, people don't value it. Like you have people who are in families who have a support system, who've been supported by their family so much that even if they have a job, they're still expecting other people to spend their hard-earned money on them, even as adults. I know they're going to hook me up. Oh, I know they're going to do this for me. Oh, I know they're going to do that for me. If I call, they're going to help me. Well, here's the problem with that. Then you people become old and grown and old, and you don't help anybody. As a matter of fact, you become accustomed to people helping you to the point where you'll steal from the younger generation who's doing better than you. Because you're accustomed to people taking care of you because, you know, that's what you think financial literacy is. God's going to provide, which means another family member is going to foot the bill while I keep doing dumb stuff financially, right? You know, and there's a problem. We're not teaching people to respect the money. So that's why I said we can't even get to investing and buying things. This is part of other reason why we don't teach that how to keep things, how to make things last, how to make a dollar stretch. Because I notice, especially family and friends who are really impulsive, you can't have nice things around them because they'll destroy them. And I've noticed plenty of people who I've gotten into arguments with, who I fell out with, who think it's okay to destroy other people's stuff or mess up other people's stuff. And then when you say you got to replace that, then they throw a temper tantrum. It ain't nothing. It's just, that only costs $20. That only costs $100. Man, that ain't no money. Okay, well, get in your goddamn pocket and give me that $20, give me that $100 to pay for the shit you just broke. You tripping. You gonna say I'm tripping when I knock your ass out. It ain't that serious. But then when you look into people's like their lives, they're constantly replacing stuff because they're constantly breaking stuff and destroying stuff because it ain't nothing, and they don't add up all that stuff that ain't nothing costs. You know, so I think, you know, I remember one of the oldest things one of my uncles told me. He said, look, man, an account that keeps having minuses, it's not a good account. You want your account to have more pluses than minuses. Very simple, right? Ironically, he stole my identity, but whatever. Because his account had more minuses than pluses. But, you know, part of the reason why you don't see people advancing in inheritances and people, even middle class and rich people, and their kids wind up being broke is because they just taught them a lifestyle. They didn't teach them financial literacy. It's my opinion. Tell me what you think. We out.